The question is the Revolution Pro Full Cover Foundation and Concealer better than the Conceal and Define ones? Let's find out. Hey guys, what's up? It's Carmie Belle. I hope you're doing well. Today's video is all about foundation and concealer. Makeup Revolution has recently launched a new foundation line from Revolution Pro, which is the Revolution Pro Camouflage Full Cover Foundation. And of course they have launched the same concealer, the Full Cover Camouflage Concealer. And I have also here the Conceal and Define line, the concealer and the foundation one. These are the two foundations beside another. These are both silicone-based foundations. In the Revolution Pro one you can get 0.87 ounces, 25 milliliter. In the Conceal and Define one you can get 0.8 ounces, 23 milliliter. Which is really interesting because if you are seeing only just the packaging, of course I have thought I have more product in Conceal and Define one, which is not the case. The Conceal and Define one retails for €10.99 and the Revolution Pro Full Cover Camouflage Foundation retails for in between $5.99 and $7.99. The packaging by Conceal and Define one is of course a little bit fancier. You can get this fancy rose gold bottom and a really nice high-end packaging with a glass bottle. The Revolution Pro one you can get only just in basic packaging, a basic drugstore packaging, not looking as high-end as the Conceal and Define one. I have the Conceal and Define one in the shade F7 and the Revolution Pro one in the shade 8.5. Both of these foundations are cruelty-free and vegan, of course. Both of are silicone-based. The Conceal and Define foundation has an expire date for 12 months and the full coverage, the Revolution Pro one, has an expire date for 6 months. The Conceal and Define one claims to be buildable foundation and the Revolution Pro Camouflage one claims to be full coverage foundation. I'm gonna do today a side-by-side comparison with the Conceal and Define one and the Revolution Pro one to find out is it better than the Conceal and Define foundation. Of course, the Conceal and Define foundation is well known on the internet, everybody has reviewed it. We have lots of mixed reviews with the Conceal and Define one. The Revolution Pro one is brand new. Same applies to the concealer ones. These are the concealer both of another. Both of these are silicone based concealers. In Conceal and Define one you can get 0.14 ounces and the Revolution Pro one you can get 0.29 ounces. These retails for the same price, both of are around $5.99. And both of these are cruelty-free and vegan, of course. The Conceal and Define one has an expire date for 12 months and the Revolution Pro one has an expire date for 6 months. Both of concealers claims to be full coverage concealers. Once again, you can get in the Revolution Pro one more product as in the Conceal and Define one. Same applies to the concealer as just the foundation ones. You can get the fancy packaging, of course, which is really nice. High-end looking with the rose gold sheen to it. It is really pretty to look at. And the Revolution Pro one comes only just a standard cheap drugstore packaging. This side of my face would be the Conceal and Define side and this side of my face would be the Revolution Pro Camouflage side. Let's see on my face side by side how does they perform on my face. It's important to mention I have used of course a silicone based primer because you know already. If you have a silicone-based concealer and the silicone-based foundation, you have to use a silicone-based primer. How can I know which foundation and which concealer are silicone-based or water-based? You have to check the first 5 ingredients from the ingredients list. If you are found in the first 5 ingredients some silicone product, which means silicone or something with cone, dimethicone, this is the most popular one, then it would be probably a silicone-based primer. If you didn't found in the first 5 ingredients something with cone or silicone, it means that you have a water-based primer. I'm not gonna use a brush because normally I never do my foundation with the brush because it looks cakey on my face with the brush and I don't like the finish of the brush. Normally I don't prefer the foundation brushes. What is in case with you? Do you like to use your beauty blender always to your foundation, or you prefer either a brush? Let me know in the comment section. If you are using a brush instead of a beauty blender and you have the statement this is better than the beauty blender, please let me know. I'm dying to try a really good foundation brush. I'm gonna make only just one dip, and the Conceal and Define one, as we already know, comes with this doe applicator as just the concealer one. I didn't dip it back in, this is only just one dip. Pro one. It didn't come with a doe applicator or a pump. This is only just a normal, comes directly from the bottle. I'm gonna use only just one dip. Wow. Conceal and Define Revolution Pro. As you guys can see, the Conceal and Define one is really my shade, which is really interesting beside the fact that I have the Conceal and Define one in the shade F7 and the Camouflage one in the shade F8.5. Beside the shade F7, the shade 8.5 is way more lighter than the F7 one. Please excuse my hornies, I have bought this on sale for Halloween. So. Okay. The Conceal and Define one has already dried down. Is way more drier than the Revolution Pro one. As you guys can see, the Revolution Pro one is a little bit lighter. The Conceal and Define one looks a little bit more natural. Both the foundation applies really quick and flawless. As you guys can see, my skin looks pretty flawless. The Conceal and Define one is buildable foundation. That means it's not full coverage, it's only just, I can say this is a medium coverage. And the Revolution Pro side is really a full coverage. Full coverage side and the medium coverage side. Both of sides looks pretty flawless on camera, but I can see the Conceal and Define one is a little bit more cakey than the Revolution Pro one. Let me show you what I mean. So if we are making a little close-up, as you guys can see, there's a little bit cakiness on this side, on the Conceal and Define side, and it's no cakiness on the other side. You guys can see on the Conceal and Define side, the foundation has already cracked on my smile line, right here. Here is a little bit cracking, here is a little bit cracking, here is also a little bit cracking. On the other side is really not the case. No cracking it here, it doesn't look patchy, it looks way more flawless than the Conceal and Define side. The issue has to be the fact that the Conceal and Define foundation dries way more faster and dries to a fully matte finish, in my opinion, on my face, beside the Revolution Pro one. On the Revolution Pro one, I can see the sheen to it, so it not dries so fully matte. So one is the price point. You can get more product in the Revolution Pro one for a cheaper price. Conceal and Define side dries really fast, drying to the full matte finish, so if you have more of a dry skin tone, maybe this is not the best option for you, because it can make on your face dry patches and it can cracks also on your face. But only just this personal preference. Maybe on your skin type, on your skin tone, on your skin type, it works flawlessly. But if you have more of a oily skin, then the Conceal and Define one may be a better option for you. If you're more of a natural girl, then maybe the Conceal and Define one is a better option for you. If you a full coverage addict, then I recommend you the Revolution Pro side. Another thing is the expire date. So the expire date, as I mentioned earlier, from the Conceal and Define one is 12 months and the Revolution Pro one is 6 months. So in my opinion, or in my case, I would like to use my foundation and my concealer only just for a couple months. I never would use the same foundation and the same concealer 1 year long because of the hygiene. So you have to open it every time, it contacts with your face every time. That's why I don't think then the expire dates means too much for you, but it's only just personal preference. So it lasts for 6 months or it lasts for 12 months, a foundation or a concealer, it doesn't mean to me too much, because I would use my foundation only just for a couple months. I would say only just 3-4 months. This is the negative side on a Dove applicator. I prefer more of a pump applicator for a foundation because it doesn't have contact with your face, with your skin, with the bacterium. Good. Moving on to the concealers. The Conceal and Define one comes of course with the Dove applicator. I have both of concealer in the shade 6.5. Unfortunately, I have used it so much and this concealer is fast out. I have to dig back and search a little bit more of the product that I can show you how does it performs on the eyes. So I'm sorry for that. You have to press it really hard because it hardly ever comes out from the bottle. The formula is way more thicker than the Conceal and Define one and way more tackier, so wow. I think I have used way too much. As you guys can see, both of the concealers has already cracked under my eyes, which is always the case for me, so it's nothing new. So both of concealer claims to be full coverage concealer, which is, I would say, in the Conceal and Define concealer, this is more of a medium coverage because the blue are peeking through under my eyes. But on the Revolution Pro side, the coverage is pretty amazing. Can you guys see what I mean? So here is the blue peeking through under my concealer. Here the blue is not peeking through. The Conceal and Define side is a little bit more flawless and natural looking, beside the Revolution Pro side, which is more on the full coverage plasticky looking side. Personal preference, I prefer the Revolution Pro side. Let's see how the foundation works with a powder product. So on the Conceal and Define side is a little bit more flawless and a little, it comes out not so pigmented as on the other side. Because the Conceal and Define side, as I mentioned several times, it dries fully matte. So it's already dry, means it's not so sticky for a powder. On the other side, the Revolution Pro side is more of a sticky side. That means it picks off way more pigment than the other side, which is already fully matte. I use this powder right here with a sponge. Both of foundation has worked pretty well. They blended like a dream. You can work with it so fast. The finish is pretty flawless. But as I mentioned it earlier, the Conceal and Define side is already cracked on my face. So it's personal preference for my skin tone. The Revolution Pro one works a little bit better. On to the concealers. We are gonna test these concealers as a eyeshadow base. The Revolution Conceal and Define one. Good. So on my eyes I can see pretty well. On my eyes I can see right now pretty well. You guys can see it. This is more of a cool toned, if it makes sense, but the Revolution Pro side has more of a yellow undertone. The concealer, what has a little bit more of a yellow undertone, it works pretty well for your blue under eye circles. That means the Revolution Pro Concealer has covered up my under eye circles, my blue under eye circles, way better than the Conceal and Define one, which doesn't have so much pink, which doesn't have so much yellow undertone in it. I'm gonna use for my eyeshadow really edit the Wands palette by Makeup Revolution. If you're interested, I have made a full-on review, then definitely check this out. I will link the video review down below. I have already my makeup on, of course. This is the concealer side, this is the Conceal and Define side, and the Revolution Pro side. Let's make a close-up. Once again, Conceal and Define side, Revolution Pro side. For my first impression, I like a little tiny bit more the Revolution Pro foundation. It doesn't dry so fast as the Conceal and Define one, so personally it works a little bit better on my skin. Revolution Pro Concealer didn't crack on my face, beside the Conceal and Define Concealer which has already cracked after 15 minutes. I've always had this issue with the Conceal and Define one because it dries so fast and so easy that it cracks on my face. Because I am a really annoying person. I speak a lot, I speak a lot, I laugh a lot, I smile a lot. Basically I smile all the days. I talk with people, I smile with people, I work with people all day long. That means my foundation has to stay put all day long. Right now I'm going to go to work. Right now it's 10:50. My foundation is on since 10. Foundation is on for 1 hour right now. That means I'm going to work, then I'm going back to you. I finished the work roughly 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock p.m. That means I would wear this foundation 12 or 13 hours. After work I'm gonna check in and you can see how does the foundations worked on both of my side. Comparison Conceal and Define side after 13 hours and Revolution Pro side after 13 hours. The true battle of a foundation is the wear test. Would it be disappeared? Would it be dressed down? Would it be moved? Would it be cracked? Let's find out after 13 hours. See you in 13 hours. Hey guys, what's up? I'm sorry for the whispering. Everybody is sleeping right now. This is 10 o'clock p.m. as you guys can see it. So I was done with my work today 1 hour earlier. That means it's not a straight 13-hour wear time, it's only just 12-hour wear time. But as you guys can see it, so the foundation on the both sides looking like this right now after straight of 12-hour wear time. This is the Revolution Pro side and this is the Conceal and Define side. So let's make a close-up. Revolution Pro side. The Conceal and Define side. As you guys can see it, from my nose has already disappeared the foundation because I upload my nose all the time. Only just that's why. You can see on my forehead has already cracked a little bit. So, and both of the foundation has already moved a little bit on both of my side. As you guys can see, there's a little bit movement and there is also a movement on this side or on this side. This is the Conceal and Define side right here and the Revolution Pro side right here. Both of the foundation lasts pretty good, so that means both of the foundation lasts to a 10-hour, straight 10-hour wear time without any difference. After 10 hours, I have noticed some shine peeking through, some movement, and whatever. I'm sorry guys, I wasn't able to film the 10-hour, 8-hour or 6-hour wear time because in the work I can't film, of course, so I'm sorry for that. After straight 10 hours, I didn't notice any difference, and by the 11 hour it was already shiny a little bit, and from 11 to 12 hour it was already moved. The conceal and define side, it's not a much to difference, and this would be then the other side, the Revolution Pro side and the Conceal and Define side. Both of concealer has already cracked under my eyes, but the Revolution Pro Concealer has cracked way more than the Conceal and Define Concealer. I have to say that in front. Revolution Pro Concealer has cracked terribly under my eyes. Let's make a close-up. As you guys can see, this is the concealer and this is the Conceal and Define side. I have noticed 2 or 3 cracked line under my eyes, and right here, Revolution Pro side, it has cracked terribly. As I said earlier, for the foundation I prefer more the Revolution Pro one. Also, after the 12-hour wear test, I prefer the Revolution Pro foundation instead of the Conceal and Define foundation. It applies the same to the concealers, because I prefer much more the Conceal and Define Concealer beside the Revolution Pro Concealer. If we are seeing the 12-hour wear test, then the Conceal and Define Concealer has already won the game. It's cracked terribly on my face. I didn't like it at all. Maybe I would use this concealer only just for a 4 to 5, maximum 6 hours, not more. One close-up again. So these are the foundations and the concealers looking on my face right now. So it's not so bad. Come on, Makeup Revolution. This completes my video for today. I hope you guys liked it and enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you do, please subscribe to my lovely channel and see you in my next video. Bye!